Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Charmaine at Charmaine's place, and Zephie's here too. Hi, good morning, Zephie.
Hello,
Hi.
good morning.
Okay, here's a flash. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Hi. Okay. Quick view for a Sunday morning. So we are making my weekly lunch minestra and today, and so I got a little bouillon ready because I didn't have any chicken stock. This is vegetable bouillon. Tomatoes, green and yellow peppers. I have red ones, orange ones, whatever you like. This bowl has in it both Swiss chard and there is kale under there somewhere. I don't know. There's different greens. See, different things. Okra and mushrooms. Those will go in at the last. And scallions going in at the last, as well as this baby, my Scotch bonnet that I grew myself. I got a bunch of those over here. I have lots of Scotch bonnets. I have yellow tomatoes. I have red tomatoes. Everybody's got spots on their tomatoes this year. Don't worry about it. Just cut them off. Once the tomatoes are ripe, they're good to go. In the pot, I already started. Maybe Zephie can hold the camera now. Hold the camera. And and in this pot I started out by sauteing some red onion, and then I threw in potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes, and some wide flat Italian green beans. Okay, and then I added my carrots and celery. Oh, and there were some leeks in there too. So now I'm going to add the fresh tomatoes. Really, this is just a process of adding and adding and adding. Little bit. You know, because different vegetables cook at different temperatures and times because of their density. So we don't want everything all mushy, right? We want to be able to taste and feel the texture of the vegetable. So as when you eat it, even though it's going to be like a soup at the end, you really want some texture. So the other thing about this is there's two things. One is I make the vegetarian version. Actually, it's a vegan version. And I have already separately made, they're in my freezer. Zephie and I made about 500 little mini, they're not even that big, mini Italian meatballs that when we prepare this to take in my lunch for work, I add a few meatballs and I have a complete lunch, no bread, none of that, just this and a few meatballs, and I'm good to go. And the other thing I said there were two things. The other thing is I haven't yet gone out to my yard to pick the parsley and basil that will get thrown in at the end for some seasoning, as well as, you know, at that point I'll put some salt and probably some black pepper in it. And then that's it. It's a pretty simple dish. You don't need much other than vegetables. So whatever vegetables you have. I particularly like this combination, especially with the Swiss chard. I'm not a fan of kale, but that's what came in my bag from my farmer. So, you know, I gotta eat it. So it goes in here, because I really can't stand kale. But, I think I'm gonna throw the okra in next, because the okra, I know everybody's got their opinions about okra, but okra has a ton of vitamins in it, and it's a good thickening agent. It will make your broth, whatever you're putting it in, have a really nice viscosity. It's lovely. So, you know, and when it's in something like this, you can't, if you don't like okra, you really can't taste it. Trust me. But we like okra a lot, so we put it in, and I think the peppers can go in at this point too. Just remember to do all your chopping ahead. Not like me with the herbs, I forgot, but That's okay, they only take me a minute to do. You gotta have all your vegetables and everything ready ahead. Do all that, clean it good, chop it up. And you see how colorful that is. It's, you know, got a lot of vitamins in this pot. And a pot like this will feed Zephie and I for a week to 2 weeks, depending. This one that I'm making today is probably a 2-week pot. So we're almost ready to start adding the last things. The very last thing to go in here is going to be the mushrooms, and that'll be after everything else is cooked. But you'll see how fast this goes. It's, you know, once you do this saute, everything else cooks relatively quickly. The kale takes a bit long because it's a bit tough, but I took as many stems out as I could, and the Swiss chard, it cooks rather quickly. There we go. I'm going to start adding. And this stuff, make sure you wash it, and wash it really good. Take all the sand off, because nobody likes to eat sand, especially not me. Serve me a dish with sand in it, and I'm giving it back to you. Trust me, can't stand it. It's like if you're feeding somebody eggs with eggshells. Yeah. See the amount of greens going in this? Yeah, buddy, that's what makes it good. Nice and sweet. You know, we all got to eat our leafy greens, especially if you're, you know, not to disclose too much information, but Zephie and I both have health issues that, especially blood pressure. And eating all this veggie stuff is really good for us and helps us to manage those health issues without a whole lot of other effort than to make sure we're eating our veggies. I know it's hard to get them in, so that's kind of why we do this pot every week, and then that way we know at least for lunch we've had at least a good serving of vegetables every day. The fact that we like it is a bonus. We used to do something kind of like this in the shop, most especially in Toronto. We did it here too. I think the firefighters used to come, especially here in Niagara Falls. And the funny thing about that was they used to come in the door, and there was always a lot of broth. And especially on a cold winter day or evening sometimes, the first thing they would do is ask us for a cup of the broth, and we would give it to them in a coffee cup. And just because it was delicious and it's full of nutrients itself. So, you know, don't just think of this as, oh, I gotta eat all my vegetables. You know, you could be drinking your nutrients, right? Make this, and look at that. That Swiss chard is already steaming down, and then we're going to make it happen just a little bit faster. And in we go with the bouillon. And I'm going to add more water. I'm using the container from the okra so that I get all that, you know, the slimy stuff. Coming up yet, Jeff?
It's doing alright.
It's alright. Okay. Sometimes when we get to this point, it's I'm a little short, and sometimes I can't. It's hard for me to manage the pot, so I will sometimes get Zephie to turn it for me. But I think we're okay, babe. Do you think you need
Put
to
some
turn
more
it?
liquid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, there it is. Okay. So, I might even put just a little bit more, you know that? What do you think? Make it a little soupy? Yeah, I think a little bit more liquid. So you kind of got to gauge this, right? There's no science to this. It's hard to measure. You do it to your taste. You don't want it soupy, put less liquid. You want more broth, then put more water. But
It's still gonna cook down.
yeah, I mean the veggies are gonna make some liquid for you, so don't go too crazy. Otherwise, you'll have all broth and no stuff. We like a lot of stuff. We like it like a veggie stew, right? That's pretty much what we're making here. It's a vegan stew, and you know, I have friends and family members who eat vegan, and so having this on hand is actually quite helpful when they come to visit, because this way everybody's got something to eat. It's not you know, not everything has to be meat based, and I know a lot of people are trying to get more eat more vegan, and it you know, honestly, this whole pot of soup, I think this cost maybe $30. So if you divide that up, so 5 lunches a day times 2 people, that's 10 lunches. That's $3 a lunch, and that's just for a week. And you can see how much there is. We're probably going to get almost 2 weeks out of this by the time we're done, by the time all is said and done. So if you can get your lunches down to costing you $1.50, that's amazing. Now, if you add meat, of course it's going to cost more. But you could switch over to my cheater chicken version of this. It's the same thing. Just go to your local grocery store that sells, you know, those roasted chickens in the container. Yeah, those already cooked. At this point, you take that chicken, you cut it up however you like it, debone it if you want, and put chunks of chicken in this, and there you go. That's it. One of those chickens is what, 10? Well, I think they've probably gone up. They may be about $12 now. So you get one of those chickens and drop some pieces in, and gives a nice flavor to the soup, and you have another protein, and away you go. You want beans, add beans. Although there's beans in it. There's the green beans. I could have put a can of beans in, but I decided, nah, there's enough today. So that's it. I'm going to stop this video. Wish you all a good week, good lunch, and maybe I'll post a photo of my finished dish after it's all done, because we are pretty close to finished. I don't want to put the mushrooms in right now, and I don't want to prolong this video unless, really, honestly, I could, but no, I'm going to end it now. So, bon appetit. Actually, I said that wrong. It's bon appetito. Have a good week, everybody.